I don't care how good your plan is, if you're the only one carrying it, you're going to feel that in your bones. Trust me, I've been there. Running purely off caffeine, sprinting in between sessions, trying to answer a million different back-to-back emails while trying to also remember when was the last time I actually sat down to eat. It's not pretty, and it's definitely not the way you want to be experiencing your own retreat. A retreat doesn't just need a plan, it needs people, but it needs the right people. The kind of support that has your back so completely that when you think about it, you're just like, yeah, they've got this. Today, I'm breaking down exactly what that kind of support looks like, how to find it, and how to set it up whether you've got a full team or just one other person assisting you. That way, you can stop managing the retreat and actually leading your retreat. There's a difference between someone helping you and someone actually supporting you. Help is someone that shows up, does exactly the thing you told them to do, but when that list is done, that's it, they're done. Support is someone who is invested in the event's success. They notice what's needed before it's even said, they care about the outcome, and they step in to make sure things run smoothly. I'll never forget the start of one of my retreats in the past where I was going through my to-do list, knowing that at some point I needed to stop, go to the registration desk and set things up, like the lanyards, the name tags, the badge printing machines, and the iPad so that people could register for the event. And so I ran out there to go and get it done, only to discover that the IT team had already handled it. I didn't need to ask them. I didn't need to tell them. They just did it. No questions asked. They were only responsible for actually setting up the connection of the iPads to the badge printers. And yet they took initiative in setting out not only that, but the paper, the lanyards, everything that was needed for the registration desk team to check in. That's not just help. That right there, that is partnership. And I can't forget the hired registration team that we would often have at like our big conferences and retreats. Shout out to Trinity Solutions. After a quick walkthrough, they didn't need me to stand there and watch over their shoulders to make sure they got the information. Nor did they sit there and just wait for me to feed them with instructions. They answered questions for the guests confidently. They handled last minute changes with the venue, no questions asked. And they kept me updated on everything so I could still focus on what my priorities were. I didn't have to babysit them. They owned the role. That's what true support looks like, and the difference is massive. You go from juggling all the balls yourself to feeling like you have a safety net in place. The way your retreat feels to guests isn't just about the agenda and the venue. It's about the people working behind the scenes to bring it to life. When your crew and vendors are aligned, proactive, and genuinely happy to be there, it creates an energy that your guests can't help but notice. They may not know exactly who's handling what, but they can feel when the experience is running smoothly and everyone's in sync. I've had the privilege of working with teams that have gone above and beyond. Like that hired registration crew that I mentioned that didn't just welcome guests. They welcomed them like old friends, answered questions confidently, coordinated changes with the venues, did room checks to make sure they were set up correctly based off our master logistics document, and kept me informed so that I could focus on the bigger picture. They weren't just doing tasks. They were creating a first impression that would have lasting effects throughout the event. And it's not just internal teams. Vendors play a huge role here too. I at once made an offhand comment where I mentioned that I had attended a sales event that the venue we were using had, not months, maybe even years prior, and they had these delicious caramel milkshakes. I honestly didn't think much of it. It was just a passing comment and one of the things that I had mentioned that I remembered about the venue. But by the time that event ended, one of those milkshakes magically appeared in front of me. I didn't ask for it, made no formal requests. It was just a kind gesture from the venue itself. It was a thoughtful gesture that reminded me how powerful it is to have vendors that are truly invested in your event, as well as building that personal relationship. On the flip side, at a recent event that I was helping out with, working with that particular venue felt like an uphill battle. It was constant chasing after staff, waiting for delayed email responses, and dealing with really slow service. And it wasn't just frustrating for me, it was frustrating for the whole team. Instead of being able to focus on creating an amazing guest experience and handling the tasks that I needed to get done, I was busy putting out avoidable fires. And it made what should have been a fun, energizing event feel absolutely exhausting. Whether it's a vendor rushing to flip a room in record time, or a teammate quietly resolving an issue before anyone else notices, these moments add up. They create a calm, connected environment that lasts from the moment they arrive. When your crew and your vendors show up with that kind of energy, it elevates everything. And if they don't, it shows just as clearly. If you're sitting there thinking, well, that's great. I mean, it's a corporate company. They have a whole team of people to help execute it. It's just me and a VA and maybe one other person. Let me stop you right there. You don't need a crew of 20 to have great support. You just need the right people and the right roles. Sometimes having too many people can actually be a bad thing. For a smaller retreat, your team might look like a trusted assistant who's your point person for guest arrival, a vendor coordinator who liaises between your different vendors and venues so that you're not tied up on the phone, a tech helper who helps keep your AV in without you having to hover. The scale changes, but the principle stays the same. Someone other than you needs the authority, awareness, and tools to act in order to make decisions without needing to run to you. Because if every question, every request, every decision still has to be run through you, you're still managing, not hosting. The best retreats I've run, big or small, had this in common. I trusted the people around me to make calls, fix issues, and keep things moving. And when you give them the clarity and confidence, they can show up as true partners and not just task doers. That's how you protect your time, your energy, and your ability to actually be with your guests. The next step is to make sure they're prepared to act without everything landing in your lap. That's where empowering your people makes all the difference. One of the fastest ways to stall the momentum of the retreat is having a team that's waiting for you for every answer. Not because they're lazy, but because they don't have the information, the authority, or the context to act confidently. That's why onboarding your crew isn't just showing them the schedule. You need to give them the why behind your event, the vision that you're aiming for, and clear boundaries of what they own. When I would bring someone onto my team, I would make sure they understood what success in their role actually looked like, who they should communicate with for different needs, because it's not always on me, and what decisions they can make on the spot without needing to check in with me. This doesn't mean that you're stepping away entirely. It means trusting the people that you've brought in and letting them shine. Because the thing is, you don't just want bodies filling roles. You want people who can think, solve, and deliver without you needing to hover over them. That's the kind of support that lets you stop managing every detail and letting you start hosting. Imagine walking into your retreat knowing that everything is handled. Your vendors are prepped, your team knows exactly what's coming up next, and you're free to focus on connecting with your guests, not running around trying to put out fires. That's not luck, that's strategy. And that's what my elite event execution services deliver. Knowing what needs to happen is one thing. Having the time, energy, and headspace to actually do it without wearing yourself thin is something else entirely. But that's where I come in. With my elite event execution service, I become your partner in order to build out and customize your event system so that your retreat runs like clockwork. Coordinate and communicate with your vendor so nothing gets missed or miscommunicated. Oversee the execution plan so your team can confidently handle the details while you stay focused on hosting. Troubleshoot issues in real time, virtually, so problems are solved before they even reach you. When you hand me the logistics, you get to lead your retreat with confidence, knowing that your retreat is being run by someone with experience for 15 plus years and knows how to keep every moving piece in sync. If you're ready to host a retreat that's as seamless on the back end as it is for your guest experience, then my elite event execution services are the next step. You can learn more and see how we can work together down in the description below.